Nick Fuentes is another person that I was duking it out with. Okay, Nick Fuentes is a famous neo-Nazi. For those of you who don't know, maybe you're living under a rock, or maybe you are the happy adult and you were unaware of him, but he is a proud, open, avowed neo-Nazi. Now, I got banned for saying ultra-Zionist pigs. Okay, that's the reason why I got banned. And for some weird reason, all of these people who are supposed to be anti-Israel, even though they're not necessarily anti-Israel, but simply just anti-Jewish, were very frustrated with the ban at first, but then very quickly realized that this is a good thing. Let's take a look. One of those guys was Nicholas Fuentes. For those of you who don't know, like I said, he is an avowed, loud and proud, open white nationalist, white supremacist, despite the fact that he himself is a gay man, or at the very least bi-curious. And not only is he a gay man, he also happens to be Mexican as well, even though he is personally, anti-Mexican. Self-hating neo-Nazi. Many such cases in the United States of America, especially as of late, unfortunately, because American fascism has become DEI, as I've talked about quite a bit, whether it be the ICE Gestapo agents that are majority black and brown, or whether it be the top content creators in the white nationalist sphere of influence. So I said Israel's censorship regime. DHS has lists of American domestic terrorists that they surveil on the basis of their anti-Israel and anti-ICE activism. If you cover it, you'll get banned over frivolous rules that the ADL will establish ahead of time. Surely this will make people love Israel. To which he responded with, it's Jewish censorship, not just Israel, but you'll never go there. To which I responded with, I won't go there because I'm not a moron, and it's not about Judaism, no matter how hard you, Jonathan Greenblatt, and Mark Levin all claim it's tied. No matter how much these dildos and these clowns try to tie Judaism to the state of Israel and its violent actions, I will not do that because that is not the truth, right? So I said that, and then I said, get your booger-eating, bi-curious Mexican Nazi ass out of here and go sell some more Epstein hoodies, little man. Another thing that he gets very frustrated by, for the record, is the fact that he is a manlet. To which he reply with, yeah, bro, the Jewish state of Israel, the ADL, Project of B'nai B'rith, and their Jewish billionaire benefactors have nothing to do with Jewishness, lemefayao. You say they're supporting ISIS Zionists, but mass migration is the most Jewish policy of all time, and you are a collaborator. This, of course, is Nick Fuentes, who has been defending ISIS actions, regardless of the fact that, as I was, covering in this news article that I was reading at the time, ICE is quite literally surveilling anti-Israel protesters as domestic terrorists, and yet Nicholas Fuentes keeps dick-eating this goddamn administration, no matter how hard they go for Israel, and dick-eating directly ICE, no matter how hard ICE goes for Israel, including but not limited to trying to deport green card holders and many others that have hurt the feelings of the beautiful nation state of Israel, the most moral nation on the planet. So I said, you think Jews are monolithic because you are simple-minded. You believe in tribalism. I recognize class. You foment enmity against entire subgroups and divide the working class because you're a slave to Trump and billionaires that defend Israel because of their investments. To which he replied with, he immediately went to the personal because he had no other, adequate counter arguments that he could deploy here, and went, you're not working class, you're a millionaire live streamer getting paid by Amazon, which I never said. I never said I'm not, I never said I'm working class in this situation. And I didn't even say that he voted for Donald Trump, even though this person quite literally went to January 6th and was prosecuted by the government briefly for literally participating in January 6th. Now he's turning around and has the audacity to tell me he's not pro-Trump. And don't defend Israel because of their investments. They're captured by the Israel lobby, which is motivated by messianic fanatical race loyalty. Once again, because Nick Fuentes himself has this messianic fanatical race loyalty to a race that he does not fully belong to, he just assumes everyone has the same opinions as well. Are there Israeli fascists and are there fascists in the Zionist movement? Of course, Zionism is a fascist ideology. Of course, there is fanatical loyalty of that sort. That's actually what I despise. That's why I'm anti-fascist, right? That's the same reason why I despise Nick Fuentes and hate Nick Fuentes is the same reason why I despise and hate ultra-Zionists that I sometimes call pigs on Twitch that end up causing me to get banned, right? That's the same thing. It's the same reason because I'm consistently and principally anti-fascist. In any case, he didn't stop there, but I did respond with, I'd rather be a class traitor than a gay Mexican manlet neo-Nazi. I suspect he did not like that, which is part of the reason why he went on a tangent literally defending Benjamin Netanyahu. This guy can't even be consistently anti-Semitic. I guess that's not a bad thing. I guess that's not such a bad thing. It turns out for prominent anti-Semite, avowed white supremacist, prominent anti-Semite, Nick Fuentes, there's one group of people that he hates more than Jews. Let's take a look at who that group is.
Hasan Piker just got banned on Twitch, which W's in the chat. Hasan Piker just got banned on Twitch for calling supporters of ICE Zionist pigs. He says, if you support ICE, you're a Zionist pig. Really? Once again, it's like, what is the value of someone like that? Hasan Piker is human garbage. I didn't know they stack shit that high. Hasan Piker.
Oh, height reference too? Why are you bringing up height, baby? That's just odd. It's just odd to bring up height like that. I didn't know they stack shit that high.
Piker is human trash who should be deported back to Turkey. Honestly, we should just put him in the ocean like Osama bin Laden. We should just give him a watery grave like bin Laden. Just tie weights to his ankles and throw him overboard. I don't care who does it. I don't care if the IDF does it. Hey, Netanyahu, if you can hear us, can you do us a solid? Netanyahu, if you're listening, you know what do you know what would get all of Gen Z white guys, right wingers to support Israel again? You need to go Maduro on Hasan Piker and throw him in the ocean. Give him a watery grave. You want us to support Israel? You want to make the case? Why should we ally with Israel? You know, that would be a start.
It is not surprising, I hope, to anybody really that's been paying attention. But he's out here dick-eating Israel with the hopes that Israel will assassinate me. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. But there are people out there, when they get to a certain place in their commentary, in their ideology, they're so one note. They're just so locked and loaded on singularly hating your boy, and it makes no damn sense. So much so that they will cast aside their previous enmity that they've spent years and years developing. This man has been banned from every platform. Okay? This man's been banned from every goddamn platform for being a Jew hater. He is. He's just a straight up anti-Semite. He is trying to get me to also become an anti-Semite, and failing, of course. In that first conversation that we had, when he first replied to me, he's like, just say Jew, just say Jew. This is about Jews, right? And when he gets a little bit of pushback, and when he has no counter positions whatsoever, when he can't because when you have a conversation with someone like myself, when you have a conversation with an anti-Zionist, an anti-fascist, if you yourself are a fascist and you're anti-Semitic, and you want to bring the conversation back to spiritual, ideological basis, and there is obviously the ideological side of this argument as well. There's the Israeli lobby side of the conversation. That's fine, right? That's valid. That's valid to discuss. I discuss it all the time. I'm stuck between the Mearsheimer, Chomsky approach, even though, only one of those guys hasn't been on the Epstein Lolita Express. Let's be real. I think both the prominence and the influence peddling operation, that is a multi-billion-dollar endeavor of the Israeli lobby, most commonly known as AIPAC, but there's so many other groups there, that plays a significant role in American politics, a very significant role. I talk about that all the time. But also the very notion that Israel is the bulwark of American empire in a resource-rich region, an unsinkable aircraft carrier with its own espionage capabilities, that plays a pretty significant role in this equation. And these guys can't have that conversation because they have to take it back to this monolithic Jewry. They have to consistently say, this is about a global organized effort around Jews. I personally think that's pussy shit. Sorry for using such gendered language here, but I personally think that's cowardly. It's cowardly. It's unproductive. It has nothing to do with addressing the actual problem. And the reason why is because just as the Holy Crusades had naught to do with defending Christianity at all, but was for pure plunder purposes, but Christianity was the galvanizing principle there, a way to justify it. The same principle holds for Zionism and its ties to Judaism. Are there a lot of Jews who are Zionist? Of course. But if Jews were monolithic, then Israel would not spend multiple billions of dollars to make sure that every Western Jew, as soon as they're born, is locked into Zionism to the best of their ability and still fail to do so. Because there are plenty of young Jews, especially in the United States of America, many of them are in my community as well, that are anti-Zionist. They are some of our most valuable comrades. People who are anti-fascist, people who carry on the tradition of the Bolsheviks, people who carry on the revolutionary spirit that Jews historically have championed. At the end of the day, if there was this monolithic Jewry, then Israel and pro-Israeli investors would not actively try to propagandize Israel from such an early age to try to make every American and every Western Jew be super pro-Israel their whole lives. And they still fail to do so regardless.